So just 1 week ago, the Jaguars fired Executive Vice President of Football Operations Tom Coughlin, which is a move that the Jaguars absolutely needed to do. Tom Coughlin had a clear disconnect with the current player in the NFL, and he was levying all kinds of fines, and he just created a horrible culture within the Jaguars locker room. Shortly after, there were reports that surfaced that Shad Khan is actually leaning toward keeping general manager Dave Caldwell and head coach Doug Marrone. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why this is a horrible decision. After last Sunday's 24-12 loss to the Atlanta Falcons, the Jaguars actually clinched something. They clinched their 8th double-digit losing season in the last 9 years. So as you guys all know, we have not been very good in the last decade. And I think at this point, the Jaguars need to clean house. From the general manager to the head coach to the coordinators, everybody. I think we need to get a new everything in here. And we'll start with Dave Caldwell. Dave Caldwell has been the general manager since 2013. And he absolutely needs to go, I think. Since 2013, he's had some hits. You know, he's hit on mid-round picks like Telvin Smith. He's gotten guys in like Allen Robinson and guys like that. But he's had a lot more misses than he has hits. And, you know, some of the things that have gone wrong with him have been his bad first-round picks. He's really only hit on 2 first-round picks, that being Jalen Ramsey and Josh Allen. I mean, he's missed on guys like Luke Joeckel, Blake Bortles, Taven Bryan, all kinds of guys. And given that the Jaguars have 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years, Dave Caldwell's track record with first-round picks, I don't think show that he should be the guy making those decisions. And he's also missed on tons of quarterbacks year after year. In 2014, the Jaguars drafted Blake Bortles, which, you know, given a quarterback class, I guess, you know, there's guys like Johnny Manziel. He could have reached for guys like Teddy Bridgewater that went number 32 overall. And then there's also Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo. But, you know, they went for the prototypical quarterback and they missed on that. You know, being that they had Blake Bortles and they wanted him to succeed so bad, they passed up on in 2017 on Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. And then a year later, after giving Blake Bortles doubling down on that quarterback, they missed out on Lamar Jackson and took Taven Bryan over him at that spot. So the quarterback position has been completely mismanaged, and that's not even mentioning the fact that we way overpaid for Nick Foles, who had only had like 3 or 4 starts as the Jaguars quarterback. So it's just not good. And he's overspent in free agency. We've spent money on guys like Andrew Norwell. We gave a bunch of money to Blake Bortles. We brought in guys like Julius Thomas to the team, Zane Beadles, Toby Gerhart. We've overpaid so much money in free agency. It's not good. And when you look at the roster as it stands, actually not in the roster, when you look at guys that are from draft classes, like when you draft guys, those are the guys that you want to build your team around. You're ideally not poaching guys from other teams and paying high money contracts to those guys. You are paying it to guys that you drafted that you can give extensions to. Some guys, the only guys that Dave Caldwell has given contracts to after their salary or after their rookie contracts ran out were AJ Cann, Brandon Leonard, Marquise Lee, Telvin Smith, Blake Bortles, and Miles Jack. It's just not good. And Dave Caldwell, I think he needs to go. And with that said, I will move on to Doug Marrone. Doug Marrone, in the last 3 years, including the interim time where he had 2 games of head coaching experience after Gus Bradley got fired, he is 23 and 29. Led the Jaguars to an AFC Championship game in 2017, but it's been really bad ever since. And his failures have been just mid-season slides. In the mid-season, we just become horrible. In 2018, we started the year 3-1, and then we finished off the season 2-10. In 2019, we started out the year 4-4, and then right now, since then, we are 1-6. And all those losses are all by double digits. In those losses, we've been outscored 198 points to only 69 points. That's over 100 points that we've been outscored by. And it's just a terrible product that we're putting out on the field. And It's not, you're not looking at this team, and if you look around the NFL, you see teams like the Miami Dolphins. It seems like they're improving as years go on, as the season goes on under Brian Flores. You see the Buccaneers, they start off bad, but they're improving under Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich over there. Hell, even the New York Jets, as much of a laughingstock as they were to begin the year with Crazy Eyes Adam Gase and with Sam Darnold's mono and seeing ghosts and all that stuff and all the injuries that they have, they've been actually putting together some wins. The Jaguars are in a downward slide, and we're not showing improvement. And if we're not showing improvement, like, what makes me think that they're going to be good next year? And I do feel bad for Doug Marrone, because I think that he has been a victim of some bad circumstances for the Jaguars, whether it be bad quarterbacks. He's been given Blake Bortles, Cody Kessler, Nick Foles was injured to start the year, and he's been kind of forced to play like a 6th-round rookie who, Gardner Minshew's been all right, but he hasn't really had that ideal quarterback situation. Bad offensive line play. Defense, just the roster is regressing in a big way. And when we have guys like Andrew Wingard, Gerard Wilson, like Donald Payne, Khalid, we just have all these guys running around there, and it's like, who the hell are these guys on my football team? And he also rivaled Tom Coughlin in a lot of ways. Tom Coughlin, I'm hearing reports that him and Doug Marrone really did not see eye to eye on a lot of things, and really rarely even talked to each other ever since October. They didn't see eye to eye with the way preseason was handled and player discipline, and a lot of times Doug Marrone was spending his time putting out fires caused by Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin would impose something on the players, and then he would have to do damage control and talk to the players and kind of get them in a better state of mind. That's definitely not ideal. And I've liked how he's very honest in the media. Like, some players or some coaches just do a lot of coach speak, and I really do feel like he was as honest as he could be with the media. And along the lines with the media, I mean, he was always having to answer questions after things that Tom Coughlin did, whether it be like the Jalen Ramsey trade. He was having to face the media with all that stuff, even though he probably had nothing to do with it. And, a lot of the players like playing for him, but I mean, at this point, like, another reason why we'll need to fire him is that if we fired Dave Caldwell and we get a new general manager in here, that general manager is going to want to get their guy. And, the general manager spot, if, Dave Caldwell is fired, that's one of the most ideal positions for a general manager to be in. You can say, look, we're going to bring you in. You got 4 picks and you got 4 first-round picks in the next 2 seasons. You can hire your own head coach. You can look at this roster and decide if you want to pit it, what you want to salvage. There's no recency bias. You can look at it and say, look, Dave Caldwell screwed up with this signing in 2019. We've got to cut him. Like, Dave Caldwell, he's going to probably want to save face with some of the signings and keep them along, and they may not succeed. We need a GM that can come in here and do that kind of stuff, and a GM is going to want to hire their guy. So yeah, and I think a big reason why we need to fire everybody is that I don't think that we're going to be good next year. Like, I really don't. I don't think the roster is set to be good next year. Maybe in 2021 we can be good, but some circumstances that would need to happen in 2020 to be good is that we would need, like, the next rookie class to play at a very high level. Like, we would need all of them to have instant impact, much like the 2017 New Orleans Saints draft class with guys like Alvin Kamara, Ryan Ramczyk, or, that really good draft class that the Seahawks had several years back with, like, Richard Sherman, Bobby Wagner, guys like that. We would need a draft class like that. And we'd also need, like, ungodly quarterback play. I mean, Gardner Minshew, he has the mental makeup to be a great quarterback because he is very smart about the game of football, but he does have his limitations physically. He's a smaller guy. He doesn't have great arm strength. And, a lot of times you need to be better than just a smart quarterback to be great in the league. I mean, a lot of you see a lot of, like, head coaches and coordinators out there that weren't great football players. They were actually more like career backups. I mean, Doug Peterson, head coach of the Eagles, he was a career backup. Byron Leftwich, the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he was obviously a first-round pick, but he was a bust for the Jaguars, went over and was the backup for the Steelers for several years under Mike Tomlin, and you see him now, he's actually a damn good offense coordinator. Kellen Moore out of Boise State. He was playing with the Cowboys for a little while. Now he's a Cowboys offense coordinator. Hell, you even look at Jordan Palmer. Jordan Palmer was a journeyman quarterback, and now like he is in California and he trains quarterbacks on their mechanics every single season. You know, all these guys have spots in the NFL and they're very smart about the game of football, but they weren't necessarily able to put it out on the field. And hopefully Gardner Minshew can like turn into a undersized great quarterback like a Drew Brees. But I'm not super sold on him. I mean, I'll be honest with you, and I know people are going to come at me and say, oh, we gave Blake Bortles all these years. We gave Byron Leftwich and Blaine Gabbert all these years to be great. But look, we shouldn't have done that. Look, like those guys, I'm not trying to copy what we did in years past, for our quarterbacks, because none of that has worked. I do think that we need to do due diligence on quarterbacks. If Tua is somehow there at number 6, wherever we pick, we should consider doing that. I mean, we should consider pulling the trigger if guys like that is there. I'm not saying we need to draft the quarterback first round, but I'm saying all options need to be open at this point to try to find our true signal caller. I think next year, we could ride with Minshew and Foles and see what we have going forward, because I'm not sure how competitive we will be in 2020, but I don't think any player should be off the table. And one guy that a lot of people are mentioning about is Tony Khan potentially having an expanded role with the Jaguars. I don't know how expanded that role is going to be, because this guy has a lot of different business ventures out there. I mean, this guy is involved in wrestling. This guy is highly involved with the Fulham Soccer Club. This guy has a lot going on. I don't know if he's going to. I don't think he's going to come in here and be like a general manager of any sorts, but. That's kind of my thoughts on the Jaguars. We need to fire everybody. Like 2020 needs to be a year where I don't think we need to go through a 2-3 year rebuilding process, but I do think in 2020 we'll need to reload, get some guys in here, cut some of our expensive guys, and once we get our next year's rookie class, a year under experience under our belt, that'll be 2 first-round picks going into their second years, and I think we can be good in 2021. But that's just my opinion. I'm a realist with you guys, and really, I mean, in years past, if Shad Khan was going to keep the coaching staff around, like he's issued out statements. Like he has issued statements saying, look, these guys are safe, we're giving them another year. That statement hasn't come out yet. So there's a very real chance that the Jaguars will, this Colts game coming up this Sunday, that still might be evaluation mode for like Dave Caldwell and Doug Marrone. And I'll be completely honest with you guys. There are YouTubers out there that will tell their fans that, look, I want to win every game. I'm pride, but really they want to lose. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I am honest with you guys all the time. I want us to lose Sunday. I really do. I don't want this staff to be back. If winning Sunday will almost be 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Like, if we keep this coaching staff and GM around, then what direction are we really heading? Or that makes us win now mode in 2020. Win now mode. I would much rather go 6-10, 7-9 with a new regime around than do it with this current crew, and then we fire them after that year, and then it's like, what direction are we taking? I don't know. We need to get rid of these guys. And Shad Khan, I really do think that they're going to get rid of them. I think that Shad Khan is a smart man. I do. He's a Forbes whatever guy. He's very rich. He's made a lot of business decisions that have worked out for him. I think that he's smart enough to get rid of these guys, and I hope to God that he will. But thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video.